Cameron Smith joins us in studio, both on the radio and on our television side of things. I'm looking at you over there. You look great.
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing. How you doing?
I'm alive.
Yeah. And the flip-floppers fascinate me.
Yes.
The ones that are all in on Trump and then all against him and all in and all against him. And there's only a few of them, and I'm not going to name names, Ted Cruz, but whatever. Yeah. And there's some others that used to be in Congress, Mo Brooks, but whatever. So I guess I did name names.
And some that have names like Darko Rubio, like they...
Well, but Marco was against him. I don't know.
Are you talking about Little Marco or some other Marco?
No, Little Marco. Little Marco.
Or Secretary Rubio.
What about, tell me I'm wrong. I'm going to say something and you say Murphy is right, Murphy's wrong.
Good deal.
Marco Rubio has done an excellent job as Secretary of State so far.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, right?
Yeah,
this thing in Ukraine that's being underreported by the mainstream media is not a small deal. That they got Ukraine to agree to a ceasefire. Now, the big lift is Russia in? If Russia's in, that's a big deal.
It is. And look, this whole situation for Rubio to have to thread the needle in a situation where his natural instincts are probably a little bit more like, hey, let's do what we can to help Ukraine. He has navigated this quite well. He has not let his personal perspectives interfere with his job as Trump's Secretary of State.
Right.
And that's, I think, admirable.
Well, and I think the people that came into the Trump administration this time around understood the manner in which Trump runs his White House. And that it's Trump's White House. This is my directive. You manage to do it. You can do it your way, but these are the message is like, and you hear Rubio doing it all the time when he does these media tours, is that our central goal is to stop the war. That is our goal, to achieve the peace. And we're going to do that by any means necessary. We're not going to do this and that and the other thing. And then you can get in the weeds on it. And I have every respect for it.
I respect the fact that he's communicating what he intends to do, and then he's doing that thing. And then his people are basically echoing the same position, like Linda McMahon with Department of Education saying, we're winding it down. You know, we have some stuff we have to do through Congress, but here's what we can do right now. And so that's what I'm doing. And that's my mandate from my boss.
It seems that the political left is regularly amazed that Donald Trump continues to do the things that he promised to do on the campaign trail.
Mm-hmm. And this to me is, I had a piece in the Tennessee, and it's done well on the metaphor that you and I talked about of, cutting the hedges. Mm-hmm. And it's amazing when you ask people, well, this isn't the way, and I know you hate it, and I know it's the worst, and this is just a chainsaw approach, but what's your idea that'll do the same thing, that'll have the same impact? Because the answer is nothing.
And that's what frustrates me more than anything. Where we are in modern, well, it doesn't frustrate me. It just exposes the political left for the liars that they are. In as much as if you talk to them 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 10 years ago, and you said, well, we agree that we can't keep overspending all this money, right? Well, yeah, of course we agree. And we need to, start with waste and fraud and abuse and, oh yeah, of course we do. And then you go to those things that, maybe aren't necessarily the federal government. Oh, sure. Well, they don't want to do any of that. Right. And they don't really have any, like you say, they don't have any alternative as to how they would do it. They just hate the way that it's being done.
But think about this. Elon Musk critics have said this is fiscal performance theater, that what Musk is doing, what Doge is doing is only a drop in the bucket. It's not even going to move the needle. Think how terrifying that is. That the most aggressive reining in of the federal bureaucracy
in our
lifetime is only a drop in the bucket. And frankly, fiscally, that's true, because we've averaged since COVID $2 trillion deficits a year.
So I say nice things about the Trump administration. Now I want to say something that's concerning me about the Trump administration. Mm-hmm. And maybe I've missed it, and maybe there's a gap because, I was down at Cordell Hull today and a story came out that I missed.
If only you played 5D chess, you would understand.
I guess so. So yesterday, so we heard that USAID had been cut by 83%. 83% of the contracts had been cut. And obviously the continuing resolution continues to have, it's a little bit messy because this CR, it's a budget that should have been done last year. Right. And you're continuing it to next year. And so some of that money is going to still be there. And it's not going to clean up until we get a new budget without all of this stuff in it.
Sure.
Okay. But Marco Rubio announced 83% of the contracts had been eliminated, and the rest of it had rolled into the State Department. And then soon after that, we saw the story originated from Politico, ironically enough, an organization that had gotten money from USAID, that they are in the building and at the direction of the interim director of USAID, they are shredding documents within the building and burning. Have you heard this story? Mm-mm. See, it's being underreported. She sent out an internal memo. All hands on deck. It's an all-day thing. This was yesterday. We are shredding documents, and we are burning that which we cannot shred. There was an actual quote in the memo that said, please reserve the burn bags until the shredder becomes backed up or needs a break. And there are government people that have been in Washington for 25 years said, I've never heard anything like this on planet Earth. And so that's one thing. I expected the deep state to do deep state things. Yeah. Where's the Donald Trump memo saying no? Because this came out 24 hours ago that they were doing this. And I have yet to see anybody from the State Department, anybody from the White House come out publicly and say, we are putting a stop to all of this shredding until we figure out what the hell's going on. Now, they can claim that it's just a general cleanup of what they're doing. And one of their claims is, well, all of this stuff is on, it's digitized anyway.
You don't have to do a all hands on deck if it's just a regular cleanup. And the burn bags.
Like, it's awesome.
You're shredding so fast, you may have to set some stuff on fire.
No, that's exactly right. They said, please reserve the burn bags until the shredder is fully occupied or needs a break.
But Matt, what you don't understand is if there are documents that show your friends got zombie contracts, then that's bad.
I guess so.
So you have to get rid of bad paper.
I guess so.
Because it's the paper's fault.
My confusion is, and once again, maybe I missed it, why isn't Trump saying, y'all might want to stop with the shredding and the burning for just a moment because we want to make sure that you're not shredding and burning things that might point fingers at the deep state doing bad things, bad deep state stuff.
But this is the problem with what we call the deep state is, one, it's not actually that deep.
Nope.
And two, it involves a lot of politicians. And so, unfortunately, as much as I would love to be like, well, the real problem here is the deep state and it implicates only Democrats. What I do know is somebody who's worked on Capitol Hill and worked with the federal agencies is that these folks in these agencies are smart. They play both sides of the political spectrum equally. And look, there are some great civil servants, and I'll be the first to point them out and say, hey, great job, awesome people. I'm glad we have them in those roles. There's also some people that are like, I'm going to outlast you, and I'm going to do that because I know where the bodies are.